I could talk to you for hours and just go down the paths. But I know we have some students, and we also have one of our instructors from.
Oh, cool. Now tell me, and your students is this a regular group that you have month after month, year after year? Tell me about that.
Well, it's Performing Arts Studio West. I started a program years ago called Meet the Biz in 2008 because I was waiting tables when I first got to LA because that's what actors do. And luckily, I got to dress up in a character outfit. I had a little hat and I was Jim Bob Joe, the country farmer.
Wait.
And I'd go up to the table and say, today's special is fresh fish. It's so fresh it jumped out of the water and kissed me. Stuff like that kind of stuff. But I also would sing at the tables and this and that. Anyway, long story. I'm trying to make it short here. I met this wonderful woman, Mary Rings. She says, "Come to my acting class." I came, and the doors opened, and there was the Born to Act Players. I fell in love. It was 30 actors who happen to have Down syndrome. I was an assistant there for 10 years. And
Wow.
while I was doing that, I was also teaching my own classes. And then I said, we're all actors. Let's bring people together with and without disabilities, Black, white, the list goes on. I started teaching my own classes, Meet the Biz, where I brought in different people to teach. And then I heard about this wonderful place called Performing Arts Studio West for years. Finally went there, walked in, they had this big room and then a hallway and then another big, a studio, not a studio, but more of a theater. And then you go out of that, then they have another whole building with a dance studio. So this is a place where John Paces created it and formed it. I think it was 22, 23 years ago. And they have singing, they have acting, they have dancing. It's Monday through Friday. And right now we've been doing it online.
Yes.
Hopefully September, we're going to start opening it up slowly.
Wonderful.
We have over 100 students. And today we have one of our wonderful music teachers, which I will let in now. His name is Joe Seeby.
You're the tech wizard here doing all this too, aren't
you? Magic. Mr. Seeby is coming in, and he has been with Performing Arts. I've been there, I think, about 7 years, and Joe has been. God, he'll say, "How long have you been there, Joe?"
Oh, I just got on a little while ago, like a minute or two.
There you go.
What's happening, you guys?
Hey.
Hi there.
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Joe, nice to meet you. I'm doing great. Good afternoon. Are you ensconced somewhere? Are you at home? Are you in a studio? Where are you? You got some.
I'm at home. I'm in my. I have a little home project studio.
I see that behind you. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Normally the studio's at Performing Arts, but I moved some of the stuff here so I could continue at home. So. This pandemic made us all have to rethink everything.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nothing wrong with that. I
No.
hope you've written down a lot of things, and it's we got to just talking about our little group. We got some things sort of working for the future. Thanks to that, a couple of people want to talk about some story ideas or song ideas, things like that. So yeah, it's been good. We're not hoping for an additional 18 months of it. I think we've had enough of it, but
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for now we're ready to move to the next step.
I think everybody is. I think we're all happy towards the seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
So,
So I was
are you like a music instructor, a vocal instrument? What?
Well, I came out to LA originally to be an artist. I was a member of a band in the 80s that was managed by Kiss's manager, Bill Aucoin from Kiss.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And we got a record contract and we got signed and then unfortunately after the 7-year journey of trying to get a record deal, we finally get a record deal and we we disbanded. So yeah, that's the unfortunate part of the music business.
Yeah,
But
yes, it is. Yeah.
but I ended up coming out here as an artist, but ended up really loving being in the studio and writing for other artists more. So I love to be on stage, but I really love being in a very air conditioned environment with a nice cup of coffee. And if I make a mistake, I can just hit undo. It's
Yeah,
a lot less stressful for some reason, for me anyway.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, I've been doing that. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I don't have any giant hit songs under my belt, but I do have a lot of music on film and television. And
Terrific. Yeah, that's terrific.
yeah, thank you.
That feels good, doesn't it, to do a little underscore or something and have it work? That's a lovely feeling. had I had that experience a little bit up in Seattle. A part of my experience there while before I moved here, doing a little bit of just underscoring and game music and theme stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's huge. There's just all
Oh.
kinds of opportunities in there.
You can be so busy,
Yeah, but
Now,
I
you have a
still, I mean,
studio-
I still love what I do now, and on stage and all is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
we're pretty lucky to be able to still do that. So that's our choice right now.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I was just looking at your history here. Oh my God. I mean, you guys have done, as the Brothers Four, amazing things. I mean, incredible. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. You have a wonderful, a rich history of so much, so much work. It's
Well,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, we don't often dwell on those things, but once in a while it's fun to look back on those sort of historical things. I must say, one of our most exciting things ever was right at the beginning when we were invited to sing for JFK's inaugural,
Oh,
Oh
and
man,
that was unforgettable. Literally unforgettable.
it must have been surreal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's the other other side of that story. When we were asked to do the memorial concert in Dallas
Mm,
the next year.
oh.
Yeah,
wow.
and also,
Got it.
we back in 19. Also, I'm just thinking about the '64.
Mhm.
Ed Sullivan ran into us on the street in New York.
Oh,
We used to live in New York. That was when we were there for about 4 or 5 years. And
yeah.
he said, "Well, boys, I've got this this TV show coming up, and that I'd like you to be on. But in addition to that, I want you to join me. I'm doing a special charity concert at the
Mhm.
Paramount Theater in New York City, and it's their final concert in America, and I want you to open for the Beatles."
Oh
So
my God.
we said, "Yeah, I think we can make time for that."
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's in my schedule's open for that.
Yeah, I
why
think
not?
so. Yeah. Oh,
Let me
I think we
see.
said, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's what we answer.
Oh
We'll
my
be there,
goodness.
Ed. Yeah. So those are, yeah, you're right. We're the nice part of it too was that being four people and good friends from the beginning, we could share all that and kind of dissipate any of the sort of goofy, aren't you really hot stuff things. We were four
Yeah.
guys just enjoying it and uh, uh, pretty even keel, I would say. So I think that served us well through the years too.
That's wonderful because it's being in a band. I'm sure I mean, God, being in a band is like being in a 5-way marriage sometimes, or
Yeah.
however many members you have.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
people's tastes change, and they want to try different things, and they want to,
Yes. Yeah.
and they don't always progress at the same speed as you do, and that can cause sometimes friction. It's so hard to to keep everybody on the same page all the time.
Yeah, precisely. But a part of, and maybe you even impart this to students when you talk, a part of
Yeah.
this creativity is that you should be open to those changes, those tidal shifts, things. And if hopefully, and we always had the good fortune and all of the membership all down through the years, including especially now with my guys,
Yeah.
Mark and Mike and Carl, we listen to each other, and that we respect each other, and we respect the music, and nobody's saying, oh no, do we have to sing that song again? No, we do it again because for a lot of people, that's the first time they see us do it, right? I mean, you have to
Yeah.
always remember that. So those kind of things kind of keep an even keel. And but it
Yeah.
is, there's no textbook. You're right.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people traveling, working, literally 24 hours a day. So it can
Yeah. And
be
then they all have their own universes too when they're not with you.
absolutely, yeah,
They
yeah,
have they have this whole other life that they
yeah.
have to deal with,
Yeah.
and that can be really hard,
Let's
it
write a
really
song
takes.
about it. We should write a song about it. I think that's a good
We definitely should.
I love it.
Yeah.
idea.
I mean, I live to write songs. That's my my whole passion. It's
Well,
it's so nice to start with zero and then actually have it. It starts out as intellectual property, ends up being something you can share with the world and touch people
Yep.
you've never met before. And that's that feeling is just, there's no other feeling like that.
There's no other feeling like it. To see the instant, to see the response and the reaction to your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very special thing.
Yeah. Well, I listened
You know-
I listened to the Brothers Four. You guys were amazing, beautiful work. And,
Well, thank you.
yeah. When I was, when I lived in North Carolina, Asheville, before I moved here.
Oh, cool. Asheville
Yeah.
Junction, Swananoa Tunnel.
Yeah, my aunt owns a resort in Brevard, North Carolina, and I went out there to visit her for a little vacation. Ended up staying there for 5 years, and I loved it. I mean, I loved it, and I was playing music there, but I also became a sound engineer, and I did sound for lots of really famous people. Arlo Guthrie,
Sure.
I did, a bunch of people came through. Sarah McLachlan, Paula Cole, a bunch of people, more modern artists, and that's where I really got my learning experience. But what I was going to say was, that was my first real introduction into like a lot of folk music, acoustic music, and bluegrass.
Yeah.
And when I just even though I'm a rock and roll guy at heart, I love bluegrass. I just there's something about bluegrass that I love it, how they all just stand around a microphone and
Yeah.
they rely totally on dynamics. That one
Totally on
person
dynamics and also those high harmonies. Everything just soars, doesn't it? Just flies.
Yeah. Beautiful.
We
I
have
love it.
Mark, our guy, is a really good 5-string player, and so we do a couple little touches of bluegrass. We try to do it all,
Yeah, that's great.
in a 2-hour night. So it is fun to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was my first. I mean, of course I heard country music and bluegrass, but I did sound for a lot of these bands, like what's his name? One of the most famous bluegrass guys.
Well, there was Earl Flatt and Scruggs, maybe those guys, or maybe the Dillards. You ever work with the Dillards?
Not them.
Okay.
Ralph
Ralph Stanley. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did sound for him there, and a couple other bands. I mean, well, it was so prevalent in North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, you were working with the royalty there. That's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing, and I think that was like, I was exposed to so much variety of music there that it just really opened my palate a lot more than from being a kid in Philly.
Well, Bob, what's one wonderful thing that Joe does, because he does the music classes every week, Monday through Friday, and he writes songs with the students, and we have a couple of the students here today too. We're going to bring on.
Yeah.
And it's truly a family what we have here.
Oh, there they are. There's one. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we have Devon Morgan.
Hey, Devon.
Hey, Devon.
There's Devon. And then we also have Patrick Story and Jim Story here coming on. There we go.
And they are all so incredibly talented.
There they are. All right.
There we go.
Get Patrick in here. Let's slide it over.
There we go. Everyone, Bob Flick.
Hi, all.
Bob?
Hi.
Great to see you guys, and thanks for taking your time to be here. This is fun talking music. This could be a 9 or 10 hour show. You realize?
Yeah.
Really good. Oh my gosh.
I know when you get a bunch of people talking shop,
Yeah.
you know, you better pick a comfy chair and sit down because it's going to be a while.
Okay, so now, Joe, tell me, do you do songs that they sing and play, or sing, or both, or which? Tell me about it.
Well, a lot of our guys are incredible singers. We have some amazing singers. But what I do mostly with them is I do songwriting with them, and I do a couple. I do a couple exercises with them, like a couple of them. I do this one class called ghostwriting, where they listen to like a song in the top 10 Billboard, and they got to change all the words in the chorus with their own original words.
Yeah.
And it really helps towards what I like to call the first verse curse. I don't know if you ever get this.
I hear you completely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
You put all your best stuff in the first
Yeah,
verse up
you
to
do.
the chorus, and then you
Yeah.
go, what do I say now?
Mm-hmm.
What do I say?
you
I
end
said
up-
everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, you end up saying it all again. Yeah.
Right. So this is like one of those little Jedi mind trick exercises to kind of get you over that, you know, so because you're listening to a song that you might have grown up listening to, and now all of a sudden you have to unthink it and write your own words.
Yeah.
And I like them to have the same amount of syllable bounces and everything.
Yes, sure.
So like when the original singer starts and when he stops, it should be the same amount of
Yeah.
words.
Well, you
So-
know, one of the challenges to writers everywhere is just a prosody. You know, how the syllables fall, because you don't want to have some sort of emphasis that you never hear. Emphasis? No, you don't ever say that. You say the emphasis.
Yeah,
so-
emphasis.
Yeah. So that's one of the things, if you can impart that on people to listen to and learn, and to either sing it conversationally or create a new rhythm with a vocal sound, then they've got something, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll that's one of the exercises. And then another exercise is part one of that series is called Picture This. And I give them a photograph of something. Usually it's something very thought provoking, but it's just an image, no words. And they have to write a chorus
Wow.
just looking at that image. So that's two of the exercises. And then we write a melody on Friday. And then
I love it.
then I get into production on the different days. So we go into a song. I show them how I lay the song out in a Pro Tools folder, how it goes from the writing to the production phase. And that's a big deal, especially today, because
Yeah.
music and pop today is so produced that you can write the song on a piano or a guitar and then not even use those instruments when you go to actually record it.
Yeah.
So
I have a question. I see your guitars behind you,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
Bob, what made you, out of all the instruments you could have chosen, why a bass?
Wow. Well, I guess, no one's ever asked me that, first of all. Let me think about that. Probably because we were a quartet, right? We were four guys singing, learning how to sing together. And we just very simple, at that time, 4-string guitars and a 4-string banjo, tenor banjo.
Hmm.
So it just seemed logical that we needed a little bit of, not quite a fifth voice, but a bottom, some sort of a root feeling on it. So all I ever learned to play was just the roots and stuff, a little, sometimes, you get a little fancy, you do some fill, stuff like that. I have to, quick story. One of Spike Lee's dad, Bill Lee, was one of my bass teachers in New York. And he was a bass player for Harry Belafonte, and our vocal arranger, Milt Oken, did all of Harry's conducting. So we hooked up, and Bill told me, he says, once in a while, you can throw just a little double time or something in, just to let it feel just like a little bit of calypso beat just washed up into you, just a little bit of a little
That's
syncopation.
cool.
And don't overdo it, he said. But I said, well, let me try that. So I've kind of done that. I never get a bass solo, which I like to bring up, quite frankly, with my guys. But I do never get to play anything but just the basic notes, and that's what it's all about. It's there just as the bottom, it just fills nicely.
And that's as important as everything else.
Yeah. And I can't play, I can just play a stand. I can't play the electric bass. Well, I can, but I can't sing and play it, at the same time looking down. So
Wow.
that big stand-up bass is, it's a part of our group's silhouette, actually, that sort of the four guys and that bass instrument standing there. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm locked in, David.
Yeah.
So I was going to actually ask a similar question, and that was about whether you also played electric bass or just the stand-up bass. And it seems like the stand-up bass is so much more difficult because of the no fret situation.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, I've got a fretless Hohner, that I played electric. That's kind of fun. I recorded a couple things with it, but no, I just by now, after doing it for a while, as you can imagine, it's sort of instinctive. So I don't have to look and all, and I don't think about it, but no, I can't do it. I can't do it any other way.
I would be lost without frets. I'll be honest with you. I would be lost. I'd be crying. Where's my frets? Oh my God. What am I doing?
Patrick, do you have a question?
He does have a question. Patrick? Okay. Here we go. Go ahead.
If you had become a musician,
Oh, look in the camera.
There he is.
there you go.
Go ahead. But he's also reading it off of his page here.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, and I want you to look at the camera.
And-
Camera and the page.
Okay.
Ready, set, go. If you hadn't become a musician, what do you think you would have done? And do you have any regrets?
Wow. Well, first of all, I have no regrets for the choices I've made. And a great deal of that was because I had friends and, most importantly, family all along the way who were encouraging and said, go for it, if that's what you want to try. And, all of us should give it a shot. If your dream is to do something, if it doesn't work, you can always say, I tried. As far as what I would have wanted to do originally, no, I was always, as I was telling David earlier today, I was, as a little kid, doing magic shows and record pantomime and little comedy shtick, for the USO shows around Seattle. So I guess I always wanted to be on stage.
Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. 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 Michael's boat is a gospel boat, hallelujah. Michael's boat is a gospel boat, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Brother, won't you lend a hand, hallelujah. Help us reach that golden land, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Rivers rise and winds do blow, hallelujah. Sinner row to save your soul, hallelujah. Trumpets sound the jubilee, hallelujah. Trumpets sound for you and me, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row
favorite singer is Ariana Grande, and that she came to my middle school. I think it was like around I'm gonna say 2000, maybe 2005. I'm sure. I mean, it's been a while.
Mm.
And then she always told me to never, to inspire people to follow their dreams and to be the best person that they can be. Like stop trying to sing a song how they sing it, because they want you to sing it the way you want to, like the way you like sing it how you would sing a song.
Find your voice.
My question to you is that have you ever written songs and doing them in front of people at like a live concert?
Yes, the answer is yes, and it's a remarkable experience. Being in front of people, excuse me, in a live concert is a great experience anyway. But when you can proudly say to people, here's something that I created that I want you to listen to. It has a message in it or has a feeling, and when people hear that, it's a great feeling, and that's a part of what I want to continue to do. And I can hear in your question, there's no question that you want to continue doing that you want to shape things in your own voice, with your own thoughts, with your own purpose, and with your own questions. It's okay to ask questions of people, of the world, and sometimes you get an answer,
Mhm.
and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you leave and amaze yourself when you're sitting around writing. I think, Joe, you'll maybe back me up on this. That
Yeah.
you'll find yourself expressing things that, oh my goodness, where did that come from? And
Oh, like you're
you
cleaning out
find-
your own closet.
yeah, and this comes from just sitting down and saying, you don't always have to wait for inspiration. There's a great deal to say for setting a time of every day to sit down and like go to the office and say it's time to work on this. And sometimes magical things happen that way, but you got to give it time. Give yourself time, and give yourself respect.
Bob,
That's some great advice.
what heals you? What makes you feel healed? What makes you feel like, that you could breathe?
Well, I suppose sitting back at the end of of either a mixing session or a recording session and saying, yeah, that's the way I want it to be. Maybe that applies to anything in life, a relationship with your son or daughter, or with your wife, with your mother, father, and say, yeah, that's what I wanted to say to that person at that time, to maybe to have no doubts about something. That feels good. Doesn't mean you know everything, but that means that you can be prepared along the way to acknowledge good things happen. That's good. We'll put that in the bank and go on to the next thing. You just keep going. That's what it is.
Hey, Bob, I got a question for you. It's almost similar to that. Now, when you guys write songs, when the band is it a band effort? Do you all write together, or do you go home and come up with something and say, hey guys, I got something, check this out, and you start to just jam on it? I mean, what is your process?
I think most of it comes from each individuals who will bring an idea to the group.
Yeah.
Back in the early days when we first started the Brothers Four, and we still do, we rely a lot on traditional music sources, as you know, the Great American Songbook, actually the Great American Folk Songbook. It's where we get our music, and these it's an endless source of stories and fables and romance and adventure and scoundrels and the troubadours, everything. So
yeah,
at the beginning we'd find something like that, a sea shanty or something, and all get around singing it, and pretty soon we would have contributed things from one guy or another, and we created our own version, our own take on it, and it would be then a step in what's called the folk process, to evolve into you would bring something else out of that traditional source. So that happened a lot then. Presently now, a lot of the guys do a lot of writing, and each of my guys does recording and writing and composition on their own.
Mhm.
They like to do projects on their own, and once in a while bring to the band, and we'll incorporate one or two of those. So, you know, we just say yes to everything. I think that's our secret.
Yeah. Now, do you have a studio at home as well?
Hmm.
Are you,
I have not a studio. I've got some computers and stuff and synths and
Yeah.
things like that, but I always go and finish it up in a real studio. And you
Yeah.
know, we still, how strange is this? We still like to go in with everybody at the same time playing together. How about that?
well, that's beautiful. I love that, you know?
Do you ever enjoy playing on your own, or do you prefer playing with the group?
Well, it's a little hard. If you can get me a gig as a solo bass player somewhere, I'll
Right, that's true.
Yeah. Can you see me on in a canoe, right, with a bass?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Or the back of a horse, yeah, doing ballads.
yeah. With an upright bass.
Patrick, do you have another one?
That was his only
I love it.
question.
good.
He
That
did
was a
have earlier, he asked me about, because he was curious about how many years of this performing and stuff. Because so he was asking, I couldn't tell exactly what he was thinking, but I think it was something along the line of, do you ever get tired of the performing? Those years of doing this, and
Yeah.
does it ever get tired and you think, oh,
Hmm.
not back on the road to do concerts again? And
Yeah, well, I tell you, in our case, I can speak clearly for all four guys. We never get tired of it. The biggest challenge really is just some of the new wrinkles in travel. You know, other than that, when you finally get there and set up to do the show and meet the people and all, it's the best job in the world.
For those students out there, because we have over 100 at Performing Arts Studio West, we have Meet the Biz, we have YouTube Land. Those students who are wanting a career in the music and the arts, what advice would you give them?
That's a hard question to answer, and I've had it. It's not a question that we don't get fairly frequently. A lot of times people come up and say, I've got these songs, what do I do with them, for example? It's hard to, the first thing you say is just don't give up. And because music is a great way to, at the very least, especially if you're a guitar player, instrumentalist of any kind, it's a great way to express yourself. And it's a great way to be with yourself, and even sometimes surprise yourself, as we talked about, about what you come up with in terms of a subject or a rhyme. So it's all good. Just to be with yourself, to be creative, is a good thing to do. So don't give that up. And also don't give up the opportunity to meet with other people. I'm not suggesting that you go out and sign deals with people right away, because you always have to be careful with that, but try to meet a lot of people. And if you can latch on with a group of people who you like, maybe he or she is a producer or director or writer, or just a visionary that thinks about an idea for a story or a song. And if you can just stay with those people, sometimes those groups of people grow through an age and develop to a point where they all, through networking and all, you stay together and you find common things you can work on as you mature and as you get more skilled and more aware of the world and all. It's a great education, music and arts. Personally, I hate to see it diminishing as it is in schools, and it's so great that your whole school exists like this. This whole environment exists. So yeah, it just helps. The arts help just in life, don't they? Just how to make decisions and how to deal with people. So don't give up. The strangest things can happen just right around the next door, right around the next corner, for sure.
Yeah, that's so true.
And some music that I listen to, it kind of defies who I am as
Yeah,
as an artist.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. And through that, you sometimes, excuse me, you can sometimes question yourself and say, wait a minute, why do I believe that? And then you'll find somebody else who's expressed it in a song or in a poem, and you say, yeah, that's another good way to look at it, right? I mean, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, because it's like some music that I listen to, I can totally relate. Like, because like some songs that they kind of tell me about life in general. And like, I think one of the songs one of my favorite songs I love to listen to is, I would say "Be Good to Me" by Ashley Tisdale. And that took me back to when no one was actually good to me when I was getting picked on in middle school and high school. So
Yeah, those are tough years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You are such a healing force, and again for the visit again. You know, we love having you, and
Well, thank you. Next time I'll bring the bass.
Oh, that'd be great.
What is it? Nothing about the bass. It's the bass. What is that song?
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's all about that bass.
All about the bass.
That's
No
Major Trainer.
trouble. Yeah.
Oh, John, from Performing Arts Studio West, who is the creator of this wonderful land that we are lucky enough to swim in. He brought up one question about that movie that was a takeoff on the 4. What was that movie called? That comedy?
Oh, the Mighty Wind.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I loved it, first of all. And Christopher Guest is just brilliant. And the Mighty Wind was so beautiful because, well, first of all, second of all, I already said first. Second of all, I know some people in a particular folk group they're not in the group anymore, but they were not happy with it because they thought that Christopher was making such fun of the whole genre and everything, when in fact he was lovingly portraying all of these people, and Mickey, and and the Kiss and all of the ballads and all great music. They wrote great songs, but no, overall it was just great. All the little things they pulled, and that they actually did. What was their name? The group that they had. A Spinal Tap, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, Spinal Tap, yeah.
Spinal Tap would go out and actually do shows, but they would open for Spinal Tap as the Folksmen. They would actually dress up as, quite frankly, as us with those things that we used to wear ascots, and do it. So they would open the Spinal Tap concert as the Folksmen, and then go back and change and become Spinal Tap. And nobody ever knew the difference, but I think that's where they got some of the footage for the
That
movie.
is great.
But it was beautifully rendered and just lovingly done, and just fabulous.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
Yeah. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. That's for sure.
Absolutely, that is.
Yeah.
Well, we're giving you a hug, and
Thank you.
and Lonnie, and we hope to see you all soon.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure and a joy, and best regards and much success to all of your students here, and to everybody and your faculty and everybody in the student body. There's light at the end of the tunnel here, folks. We're going to be on stage. All of us are going to be out there pretty soon. So we'll see you on stage, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
we will.
Well, Bob, if you ever get a chance, we'd love you to come down to the studio when we're back open.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
And we could even do like a songwriting workshop, or
Oh,
like,
cool. Sure.
like an exhibition. Like, that'd be fun. It'd be really fun. I would love to have you and get your insight, and
That's a
that'd
great
be so
idea.
fun.
Count me in. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be honored. Thank you so
I'll
much.
bring extra pencils.
Oh, good.
Mwah.
Bring those little bowling pencils. The little
Oh,
ones?
yeah. The little short ones.
Yeah, the real short ones, you know. Get a better grip on those for some
Yeah.
reason.
All right, take care, everybody.
Try to remember the kind of September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and rain was yellow. Try to remember the kind of September when you were a tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Try to remember when Tri-Chief was a member that no one wept except the willow. Try to remember the kind of September when love was an ember about to billow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, although you know the snow